Hi everyone, Salam Mesra. My name is Chua Han. Welcome to National Monument Kuala Lumpur. Today I'm going to share with you about National Monument, which is located in Perdana Botanical Garden at Jalan Parliament, Kuala Lumpur. Formerly, this monument was actually located at a roundabout in front of the railway station. Now, who is the one who mooted the idea? Is actually our first Prime Minister Tunku Abdul Rahman. This is because when in 1963, Tunku Abdul Rahman visited America, that is in Washington, and he visited Iwo Jima, and he found that the Iwo Jima sculptor, that is Tan Sri Felix de Welden, who sculpted Iwo Jima, was very, very unique and beautiful. As such, he was thinking it is also very good that if Malaysia can have one monument to commemorate with the memory for those who sacrificed for the country. That's the reason why our first Prime Minister wanted to have this national monument sculpted. Now, please take note that this national monument, the opening hours is very early in the morning. That is at 7 o'clock in the morning, because most of the tourist spots in Kuala Lumpur is actually open at 9 a.m. Yeah, and please also take note that this national monument is closed by 6 p.m., 6 in the evening. You see, in Malaysia, at 6 p.m. is actually, we are having daylight, but it has been closed. So a big majority of the people usually thought that it will be open right up to 7 o'clock. So please take note that it is open right up to 6 o'clock in the evening only. Now, the national monument is actually consists of 3 parts. The first part is cenotaph. The second part is pavilion. And the third part is actually the monument, or basically the bronze monument. Now, upon entering the national monument, actually in front of this national monument, you'll find a lot of these hibiscus. Hibiscus is actually the national flower of Malaysia. Hibiscus is actually also chosen by our first Prime Minister to be the national flower. The reason our Prime Minister chose these flowers because it's very beautiful, and of course it can be easily grown in Malaysia due to its suitability of the climate. So that's the reason why our first Prime Minister chose this flower as our national flower. And upon entering this national monument, right in front of the gate, you'll find the national emblem. There are 2, both on the left and the right of the entrance. And of course, upon entering, you'll find the very first cenotaph, or the first monument. This monument is actually the one which was located in front of the railway station. Now it has been shifted into the current national monument. And then as you enter, you'll find the pavilion, yeah, and then the last part of this national monument, that is the bronze statue, right? So I'm going to share with you about this, our hibiscus flower. Hibiscus flower, as I mentioned earlier on, is our national flower. You see, not only due to its unique, beautiful, but then it's actually also very good for medical. Now, if for those having sore eyes, for example, yeah, you can take the petals of the flower and then you pound Yeah, you pound and then you close your eyes and you can stick those petal of flowers onto your eyes, onto your sore eyes, and it will also recover. Other than that, now the roots of this hibiscus is also having some medical as well. So for those having fever where cough heavily, for example, now you can always use the roots, boil them, and then drink the water. In Indonesia, this flower is known as bunga sepatu, or basically it is known as the shoe flower. So why do the Indonesians address this flower as the bunga sepatu or the shoe flower? It is because the Indonesians use the petals of this flower to rub, or basically to polish the shoes. So that's the reason why, yeah, it is known as the shoe flower in Indonesia. Now, as I mentioned, yeah, at the gate of the national monument, you'll find the Malaysia Emblem. Yeah, so usually there'll be a lot of groups of tourists going into the national monument, and you'll find that a lot of tourist guides usually will introduce to the tourists about the Malaysia Emblem at the gate of this national monument. Now, I would also like to introduce to you about our Malaysia Emblem. Now, if you look at this national emblem, the star and the crescent, yeah, is actually the symbol of Islam. Islam is the official religion of Malaysia. And if you see the yellow color, it signifies that the royalty in Malaysia. Now, and then you'll find there are these two tigers. Yeah, they are actually the Malaya tigers. Right up till today, of course, in Malaysia, we still have the tiger. But this species of tiger is the smallest species of all tigers. This tiger is actually signifies the bravery of Malaysians. That is like those soldiers who protect Malaysia, right? And then you'll find these 5 Kris. The Kris is actually known as the Malay daggers. Yeah. So these five Kris is actually signifies the unfederated Malay states, which is the state of Kelantan, Terengganu, Kedah, Perlis, and Johor. Then you'll find there are these 4 colors. Yeah, the 4 colors are actually red, black, white, and yellow. These signifies the federated Malay states, that is Pahang, Perak, Selangor, and Negeri Sembilan. And then we have the we call it as the basically we call it as the street settlement. Yeah, the street settlement is actually consists of Penang and Malacca. So that's the reason why on the left hand side you find the Pinang tree, which is the Pulau Pinang, and then on the right hand side that is the Malacca tree, because Malacca names derive from the tree name. Then because in Malaysia we have the East Malaysia, which consists of the Sabah and Sarawak. So at the bottom of this shield, you find there is another shield, a smaller ones, that is actually symbol of Sabah. And then you'll find the hornbill, which is black in color, because the hornbill is known as a sort of like a god to the Iban people, and they really idolize the hornbill. So that's the reason why hornbill is the symbol of the state of Sarawak. Now, and then you'll find in the middle at the bottom of the shield is actually the hibiscus, which I've already explained. That is the national flower. And then at the bottom, you'll find that there is this written words in Arabic and also the Malay words known as bersekutu bertambah mutu. That is unity is strength, right? So as you go into the national monument, that is at the first part, yeah, you find the cenotaph. The cenotaph is actually on top of the cenotaph is written there to remember the contribution of fallen heroes. So just as I have mentioned earlier on, yeah, our first prime minister wanted to build this national monument is actually for the future generation to also remember those fallen heroes of the country. Now, you find that this cenotaph, there are actually 3 years there. That is the first one, 1914 to 1918. 1914 to 1918 is actually signifies the First World War. But then in actual fact, in Malaysia, we do not have the First World War. But during that time, it was actually Malaysia was actually occupied by the British. So basically in the Europe, there is this First World War. So because Malaysia was also the Commonwealth country, that's the reason why the British also commanded some of our local soldiers to go to Europe to fight for them. So that's the reason why there is this year 1914 right up to 1918. And as for 1939 right up to 1945 is actually Second World War. Well, in Malaysia over here, we are also affected by the Second World War. The Japanese occupied Malaysia, yeah, in 1941, and then in 1945, Malaysia was actually returned back to the British to rule our country. And then as for 1948 right up to 1960, it is known as the Malayan Emergency Period. So what is actually Malayan Emergency Period? Malayan Emergency Period is actually the fight between our local soldiers and the communists. So it's actually caused a lot of hurt to the people, caused a lot of losses to Malaysia. Well, so basically, this is also one of the very main reason why our first prime minister wanted to have this national monument, because during this Malayan emergency period, Malaysia actually lost a lot of lives. Now, as you can see on this cenotaph, there is also this plate. So on this plate, you see that it's dated 1914 to 1918. That is what I've mentioned, the First World War. And then for the FMS, is actually signifies Federated Malay States, because during those days, Malaysia's name was actually Federated Malay States. And there are these engraved names. Those engraved names are actually those names of the soldiers who have fallen, or basically those died for the country. Yeah, so that's why their names are actually engraved onto the plate, which is actually stick onto the cenotaph. Okay, now and then as after the cenotaph, as you walk along, yeah, you find that on the both sides of this big wide corridor, on the left and right, you find a lot of those pinang trees. Now, as mentioned earlier also, yeah, in Malaysia, there is this state known as the Penang Island, which is also known as the Oriental Island of Malaysia. Now, if you carry on walking towards the pavilion, yeah, there is this staircase. I will strongly recommend you to have group photos if you visited there, or maybe even single person or couples. You can have a very good photo view over at the staircase. Actually, at this staircase is a very, very good photo spot. Yeah. Other than that, you see, it's because on top of the staircases, on the right hand side, you'll find this building, which is actually the Parliament building. And then on the left hand side, you will also see the KL Tower. So basically, standing at this point over there, it is actually a very, very good photo spot. Yeah, I'll strongly recommend you to have very good photo spot view over there. Now, upon entering this pavilion, yeah, you will find that there is a vault, yeah, in this pavilion. Now, in this vault, actually, inside the black metal grill are the names of the dead soldiers in wars recorded in microfilm for the future generation. So it's basically hopefully that the future generations, they will really appreciate those soldiers who have sacrificed their life for the nation. Now, and as you walk in the pavilion, on top of the ceiling, you'll find a lot of these medals. So what are these medals actually? These medals are actually the emblems of the regiments. This, or basically, you can say that these are the emblems of those heroes or from the Commonwealth countries actually. Yeah. And then right in front of this pavilion, you find this very beautiful fountain. This very beautiful fountain, you find these lily flowers. These lily flowers are actually made from pewter. This pewter is actually donated by our country's most popular pewter. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I will strongly recommend you one of the very, very important item to purchase in Malaysia as souvenir, as to memory of your visit in Malaysia, to purchase one item of our national handicraft actually, that is Royal Selangor. Now, as you walk further in, you will find this bronze monument. You find that this bronze monument is actually the world's tallest bronze monument, which is actually 15-meter high. In fact, this Felix de Welden, yeah, as just now mentioned, he has this title Tan Sri. Yeah. Tan Sri is due to his contribution to our country, successfully sculpted this bronze statue. Actually, Tan Sri is almost or basically known as the knighthood in British, or known as Sir. Yeah. So basically, he took about 5 years to craft this national monument. And ladies and gentlemen, of course, as this monument is actually to fight against the communism. So those communist people, they are actually very angry, and you can say that they are also jealous. So that's the reason why in 1975, they actually bombed this national monument. But luckily, yeah, it's just a minor kind of thing. So it's not really there's anybody hurt over there. So they actually have done some renovations over there. So basically, that's how the whole national monument was actually redone then. Every soldier, or basically every statue of the national monument symbolize something. So the first person who held on to our national flag, which is also known as the Jalur Gemilang, is known as for leadership. Okay. Then the second soldier who holds on to the rifle, that signifies or basically symbolize courage. The third soldier who also holds on to the rifle, which is also symbolize vigilance. And then the fourth soldier, who holds on to another soldier who is hurt. This symbolizes strength. And then, of course, there is this soldier who is hurt. This is known as this soldier really sacrificed for the nation. And then, of course, all of these 5 soldiers signifies unity in Malaysia. And lastly, of course, there are another 2 soldiers who are dead. They are actually the communist people. And basically, that also signifies or symbolize suffering. Then if you look at the bottom of the national monument, you'll find that actually there is this old emblem. Yeah, there is this old emblem which has this written, on the or some words which is written on to the national monument. It is actually dedicated to the heroic fighters in the cause of peace and freedom. May the blessing of Allah be upon them. Now, if you really look at this national monument and look at the emblem, this is actually the old emblem. How do we differentiate the old one and the new one? Now, if you really look at the old one, you look at the tiger. The tigers actually, if you look at the tigers, the tongues are actually slurring out. So basically, we usually say that these tigers are more hungry during that time. So ladies and gentlemen, I truly hope that you have actually enjoyed and learned something about this tourist spot of Malaysia. Of course, I will love to hear from you. And I hope that if you have any inquiries about Malaysia, please do write or do have some comment at the bottom. You can always write to me, to my email, that is tgmalaysia@gmail.com, and that is my handphone number. You may WhatsApp to me as well. So I hope that you will support me by clicking on the like, and also of course subscribe this video, so that basically weekly I will post one new tourist spots or anything new about our tourism, so that in the future when you want to visit Malaysia, you will know more about Malaysia. And it's very important, of course, that I hope you will share this video or YouTube to your friends as well, because this is a true support to me, to really motivate me to create more videos about the tourism spot of Malaysia. So ladies and gentlemen, I truly thank you for your support, and I wish you best of health. Thank you very much.